Hi, my name is James, and this is James Loves Games, and welcome to a special Tuesday night stream. This is the Elden Ring hype stream. If you couldn't tell from the title. And warning, there will be spoilers potentially. I don't know. I've got the network test running in the background. This is just random footage I found on YouTube from the network test of Elden Ring a couple months ago. And so I appreciate the dude. Whoops. I appreciate the person that uploaded this. I had a lot of footage of Elden Ring, and then my hard drive crashed a couple months ago, and I lost it all. But that's okay, because that's what YouTube's for, right, folks? That's what it's for. What's up, Ray Morin? I turned in the Mike Tyson. What's up, Ray Morin? Ooh, Elden Ring. Oh. Yeah, tonight I'm going to be that guy. Awesome. I'm that guy, too, just so you know. Bones, what's up first? Oh, dang it. Sorry. What's up, Ethan Witherford? I'm still not sure if I want to crack open this Dr. Pepper. I feel like I'm in that sort of zone in the evening where if I crack this open and drink it, I'm probably going to be up till like 3 in the morning. And I just don't know. Survey says. Survey's laughing at me. Yeah. What's up, Castle Rock? How you doing? All right, I'm just going to open it up. That's the sound of poor choices. Ooh. Now, I honestly, I don't normally drink Dr. Pepper. I get a craving for it once every 2 years or so. And today I just had to have some. So here I am with my biennial Dr. Pepper. Or is it biannual? I'm not sure. But it's...
No shame in it. But I'm afraid you're...
Anyway, Bones can't wait for Super Smash Bros.
A big player.
I mean, you could play it. You could play it yourself if you want to see it that badly, or you could watch some of my older videos. What's up, Turbic? How are you, Turbic? Light Gamer. Hey, James. I can't believe they removed the Bloody Wolf from the starting classes in Elden Ring. I know. It's kind of a bummer, but I'm glad you mentioned that. So there was a leak of sorts today that showed that all the classes. So they've had some official like Twitter tweets, in case I wasn't specific enough about which kind of tweets. They were Twitter tweets. There's been some specific tweets from the Elden Ring Twitter account every couple days with 2 new classes being revealed. And there were 4 remaining, I think. And then they got leaked earlier today. And so all over Reddit, this post with all of the final, I suppose, supposedly the final classes. And yeah, no Bloody Wolf. I'm not really surprised because the Bloody Wolf was kind of it was kind of this weird amalgamation of a couple different things. But honestly, you can just recreate it once you get in the game. I mean, you can get the armor and get the weapon arts and all that stuff, and you can just jump right in eventually, I suppose. I've also got some whiskey here in case anybody was curious. This is going to help the conversation flow a little bit. But yeah, honestly, the Bloody Wolf was like the least interesting of all the classes to me. I played around with it a little bit, just as I played all of the classes in the network test a little bit. But the Bloody Wolf just seemed kind of meh. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. Melee fighter with with a pretty cool lightning weapon art thing, Ash of War, whatever they called. So it was kind of neat, but compared to a lot of the others, it didn't really offer anything unique or special. Let's see, Ethan Witherford, my card was charged this morning. Horizon starts delivery tomorrow to arrive Friday morning. Nice. Yes, I've got Horizon already on my PS5, ready to go Thursday night at 11. So I'm excited. I'm going to combine 2 great things. I'm going to make a Dr. Pepper whiskey. And I don't even know if this is a thing, but it's a thing now. It's a thing in my hand and in my mouth. What? What? Takas HD, what's up? Bloody Wolf is too much to be a starting class. I'm going with Hero for strength build. That's a good place to start. Honestly. Like we have on the screen, this is the Hero right here. or right there, right here. I'm still getting used to this, trying to point to things on the screen. That's the hero right there. It's very difficult. Confuses my brain, which is prone to confusion on a good day. But actually, well, since we're here, spoiler alerts. If you don't want to see all of the classes just yet, I'm going to open up the page that has all those available. So, just FYI, guys. Okay, FYI. This could happen. So, actually, hold on. I don't want anybody to have a whole game ruined for them. You know what I mean? I don't. See, now Grandpa's having problems trying to figure out the screen capture stuff on on his OBS. Okay, so there's this. Here's some cool Inception Matrix stuff going on. Okay, so I assume we can all see this. Yes. And I'm covering up quite a few of them, I'm sure. But I gave you guys a warning. These are the starting classes, supposedly. So this was leaked on Reddit this morning. And I've been anxiously waiting with bated breath for some kind of new info. And so, official info, but I'll take leaks where I can get them. And I understand how some people consider this a spoiler because they want to go into the game completely blind. For me personally, this is the stuff I want to know before I go in because I want to be able to ruminate. It's taking me forever to pick a starting class. I still don't know. So we got the Vagabond, the Warrior, and the Hero, the Bandit, the Astrologer, and I think those were the only ones that... Oh, and the Prisoner were the only ones that had been officially recognized. All the rest of the classes are like Taiwan. They're not officially recognized as classes by Elden Ring's Twitter account yet. But I'm sure they will be at some point. So we've got the Prophet, as expected. The Samurai, as expected. The Confessor, and the Wretch. And I believe all of these have kind of been leaked in some capacity, but I think this is the first time that they've had all their descriptions and the stats and everything in there. So looking at this, I'm really excited, you guys. As of right now, I'm kind of leaning towards... Up to this point, okay, I've played through all of FromSoft's games, Souls-like games up to this point. I played a lot of the Armored Cores, but I didn't play all of them. But I played all of their recent Souls-like games. So Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Demon Souls, the remake. And so played through them all, beat them all, platinumed one of them. And so what I've typically done... I mean, I suppose it really only applies to Dark Souls and Demon Souls because Bloodborne kind of has classes, but not really. Sekiro doesn't. But what I've done is basically just this kind of random mishmash of kind of play as a knight who can use a little bit of magic, but I really don't. And I want to avoid doing that. I've just kind of flown with the breeze like a butterfly. If I get a new weapon, I'm like, ooh, I want to use this. And so I'll put the next couple levels into the stats I need to use it. And I kind of end up with some, stretched too thin, overbroad, not very good at anything kind of character. And I want to avoid that this time. I really want to go all in to something super duper good. So... I'm thinking I want to go caster, some kind of caster. So I'm probably going to be doing like either a intelligence dexterity build just to have the decreased casting time, in addition to having kind of a backup melee weapon, or doing a faith. I want to say faith strength or faith dex. And I'll throw this question out there just because I don't know. And I know they've changed up a lot of things for this game from others, but does dexterity affect the speed of casting incantations, or incantations in this game, but miracles in other games. If it does, then I would really want to do like a Dex Faith build, if possible. People always do Strength Faith builds, but I want to lean more towards Dex just to have kind of that extra buff, if it exists. If it exists. Ethan, astrologist or prisoner, haven't decided yet. Both good options. I'm kind of in that zone. I'm thinking prophet or prisoner, one of the two. Hey James, is there a rogue type class available? Yes, there is. It is the bandit. The bandit is good for like daggers and bow and arrow. So, and I'm really hoping that this is going to be the game where they finally figure out ranged bow and arrow combat. It's been just kind of, I've never used it. I've just dabbled just to see what it was like, and mostly out of necessity to get the attention of some faraway enemy, but it's atrocious. It's not really fun or intuitive at all. So I'm hoping, because they have two classes this time, the samurai and the bandit, that are both they're heavily, kind of hyped up in their descriptions as being good with ranged weapons and bows and all that kind of stuff. And one of them starts with a short bow and the samurai starts with a long bow, I think. So I'm thinking they're putting all of these resources and effort into it. I'm hoping that they're going to, actually be a viable option for this game. I mean, I don't know. That's my hope. I want them to have good bow combat in this game for once. That's my hope. Oh, Brett Williams, what's up? Hello, my fellow cult friends of like mind. Hey, we're Zealots, Brett. We're Zealots. We've rebranded. Light gamer. Now I have to play as a fraudulent wolf. A clone wolf trooper. Takase HT, there's a bandit thief class and a church spy class. Yes. The confessor. Also a very good option. The confessor looks interesting mostly because it's kind of like a jack of all trades thing, which is normally what I would do anyway. But I don't know. They've got a real cool look to them. I like their starting gear. But anyway, what's up, Josh Sanabria? How are you? Raymore, no, you ruined the whiskey. Or I improved the Dr. Pepper. Jonathan C., what's up? How you doing? Takase, there's also a full leak about the second legacy dungeon, including all enemies and bosses. I'm assuming the rest of the dungeons will leak soon. If you don't want to be spoiled, be careful, guys. Yeah, I'm keeping a careful eye whenever I scroll through YouTube. Thankfully, people on the Elden Ring subreddit are really good about tagging spoilers, and the mods are really good about keeping stuff like that out of there. But it's only a matter of time before the floodgates, break and all that info gets through. But yeah, I don't want to know any of that stuff. I don't want to know in-depth things about where stuff is in the game or whatever. But like for me, like the class descriptions, stuff that would be in the manual if they still made game manuals, is fair game to me. I want to know it. I want to be able to pore over it and just think about it for months, as I'm going to now. Well, not months, but a week. Serapho Storms, Dr. Pepper with whiskey and amaretto is called a Godfather, and my local gaming bar was called a Dr. Mario's mustache. Dr. Mario's mustache. That's like, I don't know if I would have the courage to even order that. I'll have a Dr. Mario's mustache. Of course, I don't think I could pull off ordering a Godfather. Was that a werewolf? Sarah, Dr. Pepper with whiskey and amaretto. Oh, you're the comment that I read. Light gamer, yeah, I might go with the Vagabond starter class now. I think the prisoner class is inspired by Griffith from Berserk. Yes, I've been seeing a lot of Berserk references, and while I've not read through any of it, I've seen lots of comparisons online, and it's pretty crazy. Ethan Witherford, I look at what stats I don't need. For me, Faith and Arcane. I pick whichever class has the least points in this. Okay, so what is Arcane? I've not gotten, and I know, this is kind of like the blind answering questions for the blind. But because nobody knows, but like, what's arcane supposed to do? I mean, I know intelligence improves sort of like magic attack. You know, faith improves incantations, power of incantations. So arcane is just like what? I have no idea what that is. So as far as I know, it's not something that I want to use. I pick whichever class has the least points in the... I mean, that's a good strategy. I was looking through and honestly, like strength, I have no interest in strength outside of just being able to wear certain gear. But I did hear that they changed equip load from strength to endurance. Yeah. So so if you're strength build and you want to be able to use all of your equipment, you're going to have to put some points into endurance as well, which, I mean, it's not good for strength builds, but I suppose it makes sense for the rest of us, for other builds. Brett Williams, I bought Forbidden West for my wife for Valentine's Day, buying Elden Ring for myself. Well, that's nice. That is a nice gaming couple compromise. So you don't want to be Rob. No, I don't want to be Rob. Ethan with it for Dex should increase casting speed for everything, both intelligence and faith. Maybe also decrease charge time for certain weapon arts too. See, that's what's really intriguing to me. The magic in this game is seeming like it's going to be so much more useful than in the past. And so I'm always... I like playing as kind of a cleric character, you know, doing the heals, but also having a little smashy stick. Preferably a pointy smashy stick. That's my preference. But, you know, if intelligence or if dexterity is going to, you know, decrease the casting time on the miracles as well, then I'm definitely going to do a faith dex build. It's just there aren't any starting classes that really promote a faith dex build, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, I think the highest faith is obviously the prophet at 16, and then the dex and strength are at 10 and 11 respectively. The confessor has 14 faith. That's the next highest, with 12 and 12 strength and dex. So I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I'm probably going to lean prophet. Wait, what is MND? MND. What stat is that? We got vigor. Is it mind? See, I don't even know what that's for. What I need is a description of what all these stats do in this game specifically, because they change them up every single time. Let's see. Brett Williams, I know about the rebranding. Still having fun acting like I'm hiding something. Good. Just, you know, be sure and let any sort of rogue FBI agents that come out let you know that you're not in a cult. And you're just very enthusiastic. You're an enthusiastic supporter. Gazel Rocco 1, will you be watching the launch trailer or any other official media? Should it arrive before launch? Yeah, any official stuff I'm down with. So if they show any trailers or things like that, I will jump in. But if somebody's going to do like, oh, I have this 20-minute walkthrough of this specific dungeon, I'm not interested. I mean, I'm interested, obviously, but I want to experience that firsthand on my own. But if they've got like story-related stuff that's coming from FromSoftware, then yeah, I'll tune into that. Ray Morin, at least FromSoft is giving you the PS5 version with the PS4 version, unlike Horizon. Did they not? Did you not get both? I don't remember. I bought both of them pretty close to one another, so I can't remember which one was which. But that is nice that they offer that, though. Seraph. Not every whiskey should be consumed unadulterated. You're gross. Oh, at Bones. Sorry, I should have said, but I don't like Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is very, very strange. I think there was a stand-up comedian tried to describe what it tastes like. It tastes like a sexy battery. I think is what he said. I don't remember who said that. If anybody knows, please speak up in the chat. Oh, it was James Acaster. James Acaster. He said Dr. Pepper tastes like a sexy battery. That's it. You can't even describe it. It's like cola, but different. Well, that's like most fizzy drinks. GB Sneaky, is there a meta class? I don't know what that means. Meta class. There is the Wretch class, which is basically you start at level 1 and all of your stats are at 10. And so it's just kind of like a blank slate of sorts instead of having some higher than others. Which I suppose is good if you don't know what you want to do. But, you know, if there's... Somebody pointed out the other day, if there's points in certain stats that you don't want those points in, then it could be kind of just wasted points. But it's an interesting challenge. I'm still on the fence about whether I want to do my first playthrough as the Wretch, just to have the experience of running through with nothing but a club, like no armor or anything. Just like scrounging around for everything, like a drifter. So that might be interesting. I'm like I said, I'm still on the fence as far as that's going. Sarah, side note, I am drinking whiskey and Dr. Pepper tonight. This might actually be the first Soulsborne game that I do more than just rent and play for an hour. Well, I hope so. It certainly warrants being played much more than an hour. It's honestly so fun. It's one of those games that I truly did not want to stop playing because there was just so much to see and do. Kind of like when I first started out with Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, you just want to go in one direction and see what you can see. So it has that sort of feeling of adventure, not knowing what's around the corner. And I couldn't put it down. Like the 3 hours, they did the network test in 3-hour chunks. And so it would just be like the 3 hours would be gone like that. And I'm just, I need just a little bit more. And then I'd have to wait like another day for the next 3-hour chunk. It was torture. Sarah, if I'm thirsty for a G.R.R. Martin storyline, yes. Ray Morn says Martin didn't write the story. So yeah, my understanding is he created the sort of the mythos of the world. He created sort of like the kingdoms and the main players and sort of the events leading up to where the game starts. And so he's really good at world building, and that's really what he did here. He didn't write any of the dialogue or the scripts or what happens once the game starts. He just sort of did all the backstory stuff. And so it'll be interesting to see how it differs from other Souls games because, man, I remember trying so hard to understand what was going on in Dark Souls, and it just didn't make sense to me. Like I kept trying to put it in terms of like real life. It was just so surreal and removed from reality that it was hard for me to just sort of equate it to something that I've experienced, you know, like Ghost of Tsushima. You're like, okay, yeah, it's in Japan. There's samurais and Mongolians. Yeah, it's a war. People fighting each other, whatever. But then it's like you play Dark Souls and it's almost like you're in another planet. It's just weird. I don't know. This one seems more like it's more lived in. I mean, it's more open world, and from what I hear, there are many more NPCs to interact with than supposedly, according to the guy at Game Informer, more NPCs than all the other Souls games combined, which is nice. I mean, granted, there aren't that many NPCs in most of these games, but still, the fact that they crammed so many non-player characters into this tells me that there's going to be a lot of conversation going on, and so I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see. Ethan with it, for as far as I'm aware, arcane is basically luck, bleed damage, item discovery, etc. Okay. I don't know why they call it arcane. Why don't they just call it luck? I mean, honestly, it makes more sense. Arcane sounds magical. Just, it's confusing, is all. Just call it luck. I think it's because the luck stat in every other game has just been thoroughly ignored. That's why they changed the names of all the stats in every game, so people are, what? Which stat do I put points into? Light Gamer, what I love about Dark Souls 3 is you can play through it with whatever build you want and then completely respec all of your soul levels into whatever build you want used for New Game Plus. Yes, that is a very cool feature, and I love any game that has that feature. Supposedly it is in Elden Ring, so you will be able to respec at some point throughout the story. So if you get, halfway through and you're just like, you know what, the strength build is not really doing it for me, you can just mix it all up and do a total magic build or whatever. So I love that feature in games. I wish more games would do that. GB Sneaky, whiskey on the rocks, good man. Well, it's whiskey and Dr. Pepper, which again, I don't normally do this. I'm usually not this devoid of class with regard to what I drink. I'm fairly classless in other regards, but I'm a person who can appreciate a good whiskey, but today I really wanted a Dr. Pepper, and I also really wanted some whiskey, and I didn't want to have to take turns. Just shove them all in my mouth. Same time. Bones, yeah, I know I'm from Oklahoma and I don't like Dr. Pepper. It's weird, like in the South, specifically like Oklahoma, Texas area. Dr. Pepper's like, almost like people have like a Dr. Pepper cult almost. It's very strange. Light Gamer, I like Dr. Pepper. Coke is better than RC, is better than Dr. Pepper, is better than Pepsi. Oh man. I'm sorry, Light Gamer, but that is whack. And I don't throw whack around very often. That one comes out of the woodwork about as often as I want a Dr. Pepper. Maybe that's why I said whack. Every time I drink a Dr. Pepper, I say whack. But RC Cola, really? That stuff tastes like Coke that's been sitting out for a day. I mean, I can't, even as a kid, I remember, like, if we were at, like, a gas station on a family trip or something, and all they have is a vending machine with, like, RC Cola, or, like, a hotel, some motel in New Mexico or something, and all they have is RC Cola machine. I'd be like, yeah, I think I just hotel tap water will be good for me. Thanks. RC Cola is just, I think, the bottom of all drinks. I would drink like the gutter water before I drink an RC Cola. I'm surprised they still make it. Well, you know what? Here's a hot take. Totally unrelated to Elden Ring, but I like Pepsi better than Coke. I think it has more flavor. I think it's sweeter. Not that Coke needs to be sweeter, but I don't know. I just like Pepsi better. I'll go Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Coke, RC. Boom. Yeah, deal with that. Deal with that. Seraph, it's okay. I don't love you any less. But he did, in fact, love Bone Blends. Morgan Freeman has entered the chat. Ethan Witherford, I think I'm aware of some of the stat changes in this game. Would anyone be opposed to my commenting what they do? Yes, please, Ethan, go for it. Ray Moran, go for it, Ethan. James said spoilers. Yeah, whatever you want. Light Gamer, so a story that is never completed? Yeah, it was perfect for George R.R. Martin to do just the world building for this game. It was like, I don't need any details. I don't need any dialogue. I don't need to talk about the elaborate details of everything they're eating. Sure, sign me up. And he got it done. He's an ideas man, okay? He's a big picture guy, and he's good at making the big picture. But, closing is another story. He just handled the lore. That's right. Turbogate8, James, cults never actually call their members cultists. They're usually more like apostles, the key masters, or the zealots. Wink, wink. They're members, or sponsors, or subscribers. Yeah, that's usually what they're called. Just don't start calling me dear leader. I don't want to offend any North Koreans in the chat. Seraph, Dr. Pepper is medicinal herb Pepsi with plum and cherry. Wait, are you British, Bones? Brit Bongs get a different version of Dr. Pepper, apparently. James, luck is ignored in every game. Fallout. Am I a joke to you? I meant every Souls game. I'm not talking about other universes. Seraph, I am always this devoid of class. Very nice. Very nice. I would expect nothing less from my members. Ethan, strength also adds equip load. Mind increases mana. Or I guess it's FP in this game. Attunement slots may be tied to story progression. Okay. Endurance only increases stamina. Dex adds casting speed. Those are basically all the changes. See, I thought, I saw the debate raging online about endurance increasing equip load instead of strength. Strength has increased equip load in previous Souls games, but I heard it through the grapevine. I heard it's tied to endurance now. Light Gamer, RC is perfect with pizza. I think Pepsi is just flat Coke. It's so funny. Why do we all have just like completely different perceptions of these drinks, which really are just not even that different? I don't know. I suppose it's like sommeliers arguing over this Cabernet Sauvignon. It tastes like hints of chocolate and tobacco and what is that? Rotten orange peel? Afterbite? We're like, you know what? RC Cola tastes like flat Coke. Oh wow, Pratable. What's up, Pratable? Long time no see. Glad you could join us tonight. We're just shooting the breeze. I don't really have anything pressing that I really want to play tonight, so I just want to talk about the game I can't stop thinking about. So yeah. Seraph, Pepsi is better than Coke and less woke. It's got more punch. More punch. See, I don't even know what that means. But to be fair, I have not done like a Coke Pepsi taste comparison really ever. So it might be that Coke does taste way better than Pepsi. I've just never had them one after the other. But it just seems that every time I have Pepsi, I really like it. And sometimes when I have Coke, I'm like, this could be better. So I don't know. Maybe I just got some unlucky draws at some like fast food fountains where I got way too much fizzy water and not enough syrup. Could be. Or maybe just the ice melted too fast and I got all watery. I don't know. I liked Coke better when there was cocaine in it. I liked cocaine better when there wasn't Coke in it. What? Brett Williams, elk leader? I'm a stag, if anything. I don't know. Raymore and Pepsi is gross. See, it's like they taste really similar. I don't see how you can like one and not like the other. It's like, I don't know. They're so similar. I think you guys have convinced me. I'm gonna do like a Pepsi challenge. I'm gonna get a Coke, a Pepsi, and an RC Cola, and we're just gonna sit here and I'm gonna compare them all and I'm gonna give you my notes. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that next week. Basic, what's up? So this game is open world Souls? Yes, it is. That is pretty much exactly what it is. It's big dark Souls. So if you're getting stuck on a boss, getting frustrated, just go do something else. Go somewhere else and go pick flowers and kill some birds and some sheep like the man here. And yeah, just go kill some sheep and take their essence, take their soul and turn it into money and turn that money into better weapons. Ethan Witherford, I've never seen a Dr. Pepper sold here in New Zealand. Ethan, they actually, they sell it in Japan, which surprised me. Whenever I moved to Japan, my first week there, the company I was working for didn't have my apartment ready. And so I had to stay at a hotel for like a month, which was okay. I didn't care. one of the benefits of being, 22 years old is not much really bothers you. And so they had a vending machine at this hotel, and I was just like overjoyed to see Dr. Pepper. I totally wasn't expecting to see anything like that. I honestly thought it was just something in the US. And so I was like 2 days into my move, and I was nostalgic for home. It doesn't really help you out, but it's a lot closer than Oklahoma. So if you want a Dr. Pepper, just zip on up to Tokyo, get yourself some Dr. Peppers, and go home. There you go. Get yourself a, $1,200 Dr. Pepper.
Oi, you there.
Ray, Jonathan, I thought I was old. Yeah. Yeah, Jonathan's, he's 123 years old. He's, this was back when cough syrup had, like, morphine in it.
You there.
Brett Williams sipping on a Jefferson's Reserve over here, Elk Leader. What are you drinking? And don't be mad, okay? And I really hope that, the person that bought it for me isn't watching the stream right now. I doubt she is. But it was a variant of Suntory whiskey called EY, and here's my reasoning. Okay, I know it's kind of sacrilege to mix such fine whiskey with Dr. Pepper, but I had Dr. Pepper, or I had the Suntory whiskey, and I had Lagavulin, and honestly, I don't know if I'm that brave. But the Lagavulin, I mean, it's like $5 for a glass, even out of the bottle from the store. So I don't know that I want to do that. So it's EY. It's a good Japanese whiskey. It's straight up Dr. Pepper at this point, because I've refilled this glass a couple times. There we go. Empty can. A pint of Dr. Pepper. Right there. Jonathan C., there's Dr. Pepper here in Australia, just to random stores that stock American confectionery. That makes sense. That makes sense. Ethan, strength has never increased equip load in previous games. That was always endurance. Right. Oh, okay. Maybe I haven't mixed. I don't know. I'm going to defer to whatever you say is the case, just because while I have played through and beaten all these games, I did pretty much plow through at breakneck speed to get them all done before Elden Ring come out. And I did it, but I wasn't exactly paying that close attention along the way. I didn't stop and smell the roses, if you know what I mean. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So I made this stream to talk about Elden Ring, and we're talking about different colas from around the world. But so there's this drink in Scotland, and I don't know how it's pronounced. I've only seen it on the internet. Is it Iron Brew? IRN space BRU. Iron Brew, whatever. It's orange, and apparently it's like Scotland's official drink. What the heck is that? If anybody has had it. I could buy some on Amazon, but it's ludicrously expensive, and it could taste like a sheep's butt. So I really don't want to roll the dice on that. I'm just curious if it's like an orange cola or if it tastes like Dr. Pepper or whatever. I'm curious. If anybody has ever had Iron Brew. So yeah. Oh gosh, the chat keeps getting away from me. Basic RC Cola, the flat cola drink. That's right. Basics. Basics on my side here. Sarah, if I forgot you're in New Zealand, say hello to my wife, dear Kristen. She doesn't know she's my wife. Kristen. You have a New Zealand, you have a Kiwi wife named Kristen, and she doesn't know it yet? That's nice. She came to the smokehouse last night. Say hello to my mom, Ann Reardon. She doesn't know she's my mom. What is going on? No judgment, Elk Leader. Drink it how you like. Thank you. Like I said, it's straight up Dr. Pepper at this point, so it's Ain't nothing wrong with that. Turbig, do you think the narrative for Elden Ring will be closer to Dark Souls, where you just get bits and pieces, kind of elusive, or closer to a traditional open world game like Horizon Zero Dawn, where the story's more laid out? Oh, I think it's going to be more like Dark Souls. I don't think that the way that they tell stories is really going to change that much, because you're kind of a silent protagonist. I mean, you're not a character with a backstory or anything. It's a true role-playing game. You are taking control of this character, and you are seeing the world as this person. And the character doesn't have their own sort of motivations or whatever. It's just you in the game. Unlike Horizon Zero Dawn, where you have Aloy, who has her own sort of backstory and her own reasons for doing everything. And cutscenes where she talks to people. So I don't think they're going to change the way they tell the story at all, which is good. I don't want them to really, reinvent how they tell stories in their games. Plus, what's Vati going to do if they just lay the story out so straightforwardly? He's not going to have any lore videos to make. But, I like that about it because it sort of rewards the people that pay attention. So not me. Not me at all. But I enjoy watching those videos on YouTube of, people explaining what the heck is going on. And I love that they take so much care to put little details, just sprinkle them throughout the world. So you can pick up just like a turtle egg or something. And it's like, this is a turtle egg. Turtle eggs are used for this ritual in this part of this world. And so you're like, huh. And then you go to that part of the world and you see all these like turtles and people, there's eggs. And you're just like, oh, it makes sense now. I don't know if that's a thing. I'm just using turtle eggs as an example. But it's all tied in together. And so they give you just the tiniest little bits here and there that you don't even realize are relevant until you see them all lined up together in order and it starts to make sense. Like, I was blown away watching Vati Vidya's Sekiro lore videos because honestly, like, of all of From Software's games, Sekiro to me has the most straightforward story. I mean, it's set in the real world. I can wrap my head around the setting. It's in medieval Japan. This particular country, this is how they won. This is how they're getting invaded. They have this dragon blood that's making people immortal. And you've got to get rid of it because this kid doesn't want it. But everybody else wants it to be able to have more power. Makes perfect sense. But as you dig deeper and really get into the nitty-gritty details of like the item descriptions and just the little back and forth that you have between different bosses and the things that they say. Once you put them all together, it's mind-blowing. Like, it's such a carefully crafted story and it's so easy to miss. And I really like that about it. So I don't think that they would change something like that. I hope they don't. But it would seem kind of goofy in a way if they were just suddenly, just showed all these cutscenes of you talking with somebody. Hey, I'm here to find that Elden Ring. You know where I can find it? And it's like, I heard there was a piece over there. And you have like these dialogue options. You're not going to go looking for it, are you? That's why I'm here. I mean, it just wouldn't make sense. Of course, I'm making it look ridiculous in the process. And that's on purpose. Let's see. Light Gamer. Yes. Drink the cool. Dr. Pepper. Impossible result. It's like impossible result. Impossible result. What's up? What's up, impossible result? See, I thought it was possible, but I guess Bones. Can a rogue class beat a dragon by him herself? I hope so. Because they're going to have to. But you can summon help. So for those of you unfamiliar, Bones, I assume you're unfamiliar with these Souls games. See, look, he just got the Bloody Wolf set. So just kill a bunch of wolves and you can get it yourself. If you're unfamiliar with these types of games, you can summon help in the form of either spirits, like NPC spirits that in Elden Ring specifically, there's all these different kinds of, there's like creatures and people like ghosts kind of that you can summon to help fight with you that are fairly weak. They were a lot stronger in the network test, but I've heard in the final version they're not so strong as they were, which is good. They were pretty overpowered. But you can also summon other actual players. And so in each instance of the world, you can have 4 real players. So there's you can have 2 helpers, and 1 invader. And the invaders are going to come in and try to ruin your day. And so the way that they've set the system up, to my understanding, is when you're playing by yourself, you cannot get invaded. But when you summon help, you summon somebody in your world, that opens you up to invasions as well. So if you invite a buddy, and you can just summon a rando, they can put a sign on the ground and you can touch the sign and summon them into your world. Or you can set up a password system where if you know the region your buddy's in and in the password that they've set up, you can jump directly into their world and vice versa. But again, once they come in, that opens the door to have 1 invader come in. Now, granted, it's 2 or 3 versus 1, but still, they can ruin your day. They can mess you up. So that's how that works. And it's ludicrously fun. What's frustrating sometimes is when you're trying to take down a boss, and I experienced this trying to take down the dragon in the little lake swamp area, the network test, and it was so frustrating because that boss was ridiculous. I never ended up beating him, but I would, while the dragon's kind of crawling around looking for me, I would find a summon sign and summon somebody in, and it wouldn't be 30 seconds when a little sign would pop up. Oh, so-and-so has invaded your world. And some red butthole would show up just like, hey guys, I'm here to ruin your day. Because when you invade someone's world, the enemy NPCs don't attack you. So it's kind of, that kind of balances it out a little bit because they can just hang out inside a giant group of enemies, and the people that are, the good guys on the server can't really do anything about it without, pulling all the enemies as well. So that's interesting. Impossible Result. I can't wait for this game. I've been living just to play this game. Root beer is the best. Root beer is really good. I love root beer. What brand of root beer? I'm gosh, it's hard to say. Hard to say what's the best root beer. It's been so long since I've had root beer. But root beer is good. But yes, I am very excited for this game as well. It's ruined other games for me, honestly. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Give me
to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring.
I've got a little powwow with the drink fairy going on right now. Can I get
to the foot?
Yay! Say hi to the drink fairy. We're gonna get double drink fairy noises, so please excuse that. Can you just wash that out real quick and give me a new ice cube? Thank you. Goodbye, Dr. Pepper. Now I'm gonna be up till 3 in the morning because that's how my body works now for some reason.
I bequeath to you this ring.
Urgle grew. How do you know what sheep's butt tastes like? I just make some assumptions. Maybe dangerous ones. But
Torrent has chosen you.
I have a good imagination. I'll just leave it at that. A good imagination of what a sheep's butt tastes like. But I really don't want to find out. So if it does taste like a sheep's butt, I don't want to drink one and realize that, this is what they've been talking about all this time. Thank you very much. Ah, yes. Refreshed. I'm gonna let that ice cube chill a little bit. Don't want to crack it when I put the Lagavulin in there. I got the good stuff. I got the Game of Thrones Lagavulin. Look at that. House Lannister. Speaking of Professor Martin. Yes, the good stuff. Likes to experiment, no judgment. Not that way. Possible result. I've never suffered waiting for anything as much as I suffered waiting for this game, Truth. No, I understand. I think the closest I've ever been to this much hype for a game is Oblivion. back in like 2005, 2006, whenever it came out.
It is done.
That was back when the Xbox 360 hadn't been out for that long. I didn't have one yet, but my roommate had one. I was in college, and Oblivion was just like all I could focus on for just months. And I think like the last week before the game came out, I had some kind of like bootleg, pirated, leaked video of the character creator that I torrented from like Kazaa or something. Like that dates it. But I swear I watched that video just over and over again. And I remember it was like 2 a.m. or something, and I'm watching this ridiculous video of somebody making a character in Oblivion, just like, oh, I gotta play this game. And I was just straight up obsessed with it. But this one I think I'm even more obsessed with. But I have a little bit more self-control. You know, I'm not like seeking out leaks anymore. I'm patiently waiting. I don't want to spoil the whole game before I get it. The story and lore should be the best ever, right? With George R. R. Martin providing input. It has to be unreal. Surely, right? Surely. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Jonathan, I'm expecting big things, but also don't want to set my expectations too high. I don't know that I could even manage my expectations at this point. They're already way too high. Sarah, she's mentioned it, but I don't recall. If you're asking if she's old enough to go to the bar, yes. She had a recent skit where she was a bartender. I'm smitten, forgive me. You'd think, but Reckoning, Kingdoms of Amalur had R.A. Salvatore write the whole world history, and it was considered underwhelming by many. Well, I think there's probably a lot of reasons for that. One of them being that R.A. Salvatore isn't George R. R. Martin. And I've liked Salvatore's books, you know. I like the Icewind Dale trilogy and all the Drizzt books and all that stuff. But I feel like that was all. He didn't really build those worlds, you know. He made the characters and put them in the world. And Martin is a lot better at building a world. When you look at like Westeros and Old Valyria and all these places that he's made for Song of Ice and Fire, I mean, they're so ludicrously detailed. And they take so much out of our real world history and so many similarities so that stuff kind of makes sense. But, you know, it could be awful. I don't know. I don't think it will be. But, you know, if it makes no sense whatsoever, then it'll be just like every other Souls game. So it's kind of like win-win for Martin, because if it's terrible and people are like, what the heck does this mean? Then they can just say, oh, well, it's a Souls classic. But if he shakes it up and makes something completely different and incredible, then that's obviously good too. Ethan, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I posted a cool video in the Discord about the meaning of Dark Souls. That has a very interesting take on Sekiro as well. I did notice it. I didn't have time to watch it yet, but I will probably watch that tomorrow. Bulan, what's up? Thanks for joining. I mean, Sarah, we all eat natural casing sausage. Oh man, that was not a Game of Thrones whiskey I was able to find around here. Yeah, I got it for... I can't remember if this was a birthday present or a Christmas present. I think it was a birthday present. I think I got this for my birthday last year. No, maybe I did get it for Christmas. I've had so much of it, I don't remember. Maybe it was Christmas. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You guys don't care one way or the other, do you? That's when you know you're getting old. When you can't tell a story because you're so focused on one tiny detail at the beginning of it. You're like, I remember, let's see, I was so hyped for Oblivion. What was it, 2005 or 2006? I remember the Xbox 360 had been out for several months. Maybe it had been out a whole year. So that probably would have put it at 2006. But on the other hand, George W. was president at the time. And you can just go on and on and on. That's when you know you're old. And I fear I'm creeping uncomfortably into that territory. I apologize if I start to ramble. I'm fairly certain most of my streams are just my incoherent ramblings anyway. Oh, so smoky. If you hadn't had Lagavulin, do yourself a favor and get some. It is, it's like liquid campfire. And I say that in the highest regard, truly. That's fire water right there. Like, straight up. Ooh, and it lingers. Bones. I felt the same about Street Fighter 2 when I saw it in Nintendo Power, and I just had an NES. Yes. Yeah. I remember going to, I believe it was a Babbage's back when that was a store. No, it wasn't a Babbage's yet. It was a Software Etc. There was a store at one of the local malls called Software Etc. And I think in the back half of the store, it was Babbage's. And they sold video games in the back. And the front was like boring software for your computer, like TurboTax or whatever. You can get 10 floppy disks of Windows 89. You know, whatever. Windows 91. Whatever grown-ups bought for their lame computers. I wanted a cool Nintendo. But yeah, they had a Super Nintendo set up in the back and playing Street Fighter 2. And I remember kids lined up. They had an arcade in that mall. But you could go to Babbage's and play Street Fighter 2 for free. And I remember, yeah, I was like 5 or 6 and just got my butt handed to me. And I just had a smile on my face the whole time. So good memories, Street Fighter 2. That was one to get hyped for real. Sarah, if I took so many days off of work when I was 19 for Oblivion that I'm embarrassed. So, my roommate and I both did. We both worked at the same place too, so we had to like coordinate. We had to get our stories straight as to like why neither of us could go to work for like the next 3 or 4 days. Like, okay, so you're gonna say that you have a test. I'm gonna say that I'm sick. So that we could both stay home and we'll take turns playing this game. It's ridiculous. That's what college is all about though, right? Skipping out on your responsibilities to have fun. And it only costs you like 50 to 100 grand for the privilege. Small price to pay, right? Small price to pay. And when you're done, you get a cool piece of paper to put on your wall. Oblivion for the time was actually impressive. It was Gamer480. Welcome. Oblivion was amazing, and I know that there are people out there who still consider it the superior Elder Scrolls game. Going back and playing it now, it's kind of laughably ugly. I don't think any of the people look like real people, but I had so much fun with that game. That was the first really truly open world game I think that I played that I really felt like you can just do anything, and maybe that was the draw of it. But we are right at 1 hour into the stream, so I'll go ahead and throw this out there. I'm sure that's playing twice. I'm sure that's irritating. I apologize. Thank you, Jack Moore, Turbic88, and Jonathan C for being sponsors of James Loves Games and this very stream. I am able to do this because of your financial support, and I appreciate it a great deal. As well as all the members. If you're interested in any of that stuff, click that join button for a funny little video that I spent way too much time on, showing what you get. Jonathan, ooh, I'm late. Meetings again, Jonathan? Turbic88, James, time for another push-up challenge now that Elden Ring is releasing. Maybe every time you die, it would be highly motivating to stay good. See, when I die in these games, it's usually not, it's not a choice. I have been going to the gym though, so I'm not, wasting away since I'm not doing a push-up challenge. But honestly, the push-up challenges were such a horrible idea. Probably the worst idea I've ever had. And I did it twice. I did the worst thing I've ever done twice. And because I did the PS5 push-up challenge, and then I did the Elden Ring push-up challenge, and it was just stupid both times, because you get into that mindset that like, oh yeah, I can do 1 push-up, and then I can do 2 push-ups, and then I can do 3 push-ups. 3 push-ups in one day, that's nothing. That's a cakewalk. I can keep that going for months. And then after a while, you're doing like, 50 push-ups, and then like 70 push-ups, and you're like, I hate that I came up with this idea. This is totally self-inflicted. So I probably won't be doing that again. I think if I ever get to the point where I'm motivated enough to verbalize to somebody that I want to do that, somebody will put a stop to it. The drink fairy will put a stop to it. Because honestly, it wasn't even the push-ups that was just the worst part. The worst part was like filming the push-ups and putting them on my computer and then editing the clips and then putting all my little stuff in, my little intro and outro, and then uploading it every day. That was the biggest pain. I can do 50 push-ups. I don't care. But it's just, I gotta... Hi, my name is James. This is James Loves Games. This is Elden Ring push-up challenge day 56. Here we go. And then I got to do 56 push-ups for a camera. This is awful. This is truly horrible. Never do that again. I'll just try to be better at the game. How about that? Bones, it was a birthday present. Okay. I have a bad memory, like I said. I couldn't remember. But yeah. I was going to say, it's only been like a month and a half. I would think I wouldn't go through this much Lagavulin in a month and a half. But, get that seasonal affective disorder and the drinks come out. Sarah, it was a Christmas present. Might play it again now. It's been enough time, I think. Yes. Sure, go for it. Ethan, I've taken 3 days off work in the busiest days of the week just for Elden Ring. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I've shifted my days off from work. Normally I have Tuesday, Thursdays off to work on videos and stuff. But I'm going to switch my Thursday and Friday next week so that Thursday night I can do the little Elden Ring launch stream. And then I can actually sleep. And then Friday is just going to be Elden Ring all day, baby. All day. By the time you read this, it will be 9 o'clock. Never mind. Always meetings. That's right, Jonathan. Always meetings. Seraph, don't listen to him, Drink Fairy. That was primo content. Yeah, I don't care. It totally wasn't. Castle Rock, I followed along with those push-ups. Were good. I'm glad that it was good, and that I suppose it motivated some of you guys to do push-ups with me. But man, it was a slog. It was a real slog. I'll tell you that. And they didn't even get that many views. So I kept thinking like, oh, this is gonna catch on. I'm gonna go viral with my Elden Ring push-up videos, and it was like, I got 70 views today. Of course, like, who's gonna watch every single one of these? Oh, he's doing 21 today. He did 20 yesterday. I bet tomorrow he does 22. This is riveting. Brett Williams, I see you switched to the straight booze, Elk Leader. I got sidetracked finishing up a shepherd's pie for the family. Finishing up as in cooking it, or finishing up as in eating it all? Because I've done both. Shepherd's pie is good stuff, though. But yes, it is a little scotch on the rock. On the rock. By the way, we're so far off of even talking about Elden Ring at this point. I found online a really cool way to make really good ice for cocktails and drinks. So one of the problems I often have, the reason like cocktails when you go to like a cocktail bar are really good is because they have much better ice. The ice that you make at home is usually tap water. You put it in some little ice cube trays and put it in the freezer, and it's just cloudy and tastes bad, and it melts way too fast because it's full of air bubbles. Well, I found a way. You take one of these like kind of little coolers about this big. You take the top off. Usually they have like kind of a little just top you can pop off, and you fill it up with some kind of filtered water. So you can like don't get mineral water or anything like that, like filtered water. And fill it up about halfway, stick it in the freezer with the top off for about 24 hours. And sort of like the top, like 2 inches or so, should freeze. And everything under that will be the air. That's still, like, it's kind of like thawed water or unfrozen water and air underneath. If you leave it in too long, it'll solidify and all that air will get trapped inside the ice. So you leave it in there for just 24 hours. It freezes from the top because the rest of it is insulated. Then you pop it out and you can kind of cut it into chunks. And you have perfect crystal clear ice. This has a few air bubbles in it, but I left it in a little too long. But anyway, that's how you make really good ice. So go do that. Seraph, shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is good stuff. I love it. Brett, cooking it. They already destroyed it. It's the best compliment ever when the whole family just descends upon the meal like ravenous hyenas. There's no better praise than that. So yeah, we're an hour into this thing. I thought I was gonna have more stuff to talk about, but we can just chill out. Honestly, Brett Williams left a pic of said shepherd's pie in the Discord. Check it out for ultimate jealousy. Ooh, give me a reason to be jealous. I'm trying to look around my bottle. It's a smart way to do that, right? General. Oh my gosh, Brett Williams, you dog. That is delicious looking shepherd's pie. Let me guess, you had the mashed potatoes on there and you did like the spiral thing with the fork? Is that what you did? That looks great. Honestly, yeah, I want to eat that right now. And I'm still full from my own dinner. Whew. Jeez. James Gowan, what's up? James Gowan in the house. What's up, James Gowan? How you doing? Bones, thanks for that ice recipe. James loves games. You are welcome. I am a river to my people. A river of ice to my people. We need a view from the side. What's the bottom of the pan look like, Brett? Show us the things that we need to know. So, I'll just throw this out there. What aspect of Elden Ring? I assume most of you guys are here because you're excited about Elden Ring and you're not just wanting to watch me sort of descend into drunkenness rapidly. So what are you most looking forward to in Elden Ring? Honestly, for me, it's the open world nature of it. I love these open world games. I know everything about open world games. I just love exploring. And I think that that's something that was certainly missing from most of the Souls games because they're so linear. You have a path, and in most cases, you can't delineate from the path. You're blocked off. And it's very linear. And so I just like that sense of adventure. Just being able to go out and do whatever you want. Obviously, all the stuff that's common in other Souls game, I'm looking forward to as well. But more than anything, just hop on Torrent, your mount, and just ride for the sunset, you know? I think it's going to be great. Jesus Velasquez, PvP and Discovery. Yeah, I'm not such a big fan of the PvP because I'm terrible at it. But the Discovery I can get behind. Brett Williams, there is a view from the side. Oh my goodness. Let's see the side of this. The side of this pie. Oh my goodness. It's sort of like a side-ish angle, but they both look very delicious. I'm totes jelly. Totes jelly, y'all. Gamer480, I don't like Souls games. I'm here because I like your personality. Oh, that's so kind of you to say. Bones, I'm excited about watching some JLG Gravity Deaths. I have no PS5. Those will happen, I'm sure. Those will happen. And if they don't happen, I will make them happen just for you, Bones. I'll be jumping off cliffs on command. Ethan, the side view of a slice. We need the meat to mash ratio. Ethan's over here. He's got his knife and fork ready, banging on the table. Oh man, James God, I'm looking forward to kill stuff and have my Estus refilling. Yes, that that's another feature that I totally forgot about. Thank you for bringing that up, James. But so if you were unaware, something that they added to Elden Ring that I think is brilliant is that whenever you come across a group of enemies, once you kill all of the enemies that were in the group, you get a little bit of your health flasks refilled. And because normally it's like you gotta, in other Souls games, you gotta rest at a bonfire to refill your healing potions, your Estus. And that's it. That's the only way to do it. So if you run out, you're out. And so this one sort of encourages you to be a little bit more adventurous. Say like, I'm out of healing potions, but if I can take out this group, I'll get a few back. And I really like that they offer you that choice. They sort of dangle it in front of you like, here, you want this? Oh, you almost had it. You know, put that Estus on a fishing line. But I totally forgot about that. Bulan, gravity hype. Sarah, if I'm here for Whiskey James, I don't like Soulsborne, but watching this, Elden Ring is actually becoming interesting. Maybe the issues I previously had have been worked out. I think they probably have been because, I mean, really, it felt like a different game. And the same at the same time. It's hard to explain. But I know that Steam is pretty generous with their refund policy. I think if you buy a game, you can get a refund within a couple of hours. I think within like 2 hours or something, you can get a refund. So maybe you could buy it, play it for a couple of hours, and then just see if you like it. Or, you know, we used to have this thing called Blockbuster where you could go rent a game and try it out for like $7. And it was really cool. And unless you live in that one little town in Oregon, they don't exist. James Gown, I'm looking forward to you and me killing bosses together. Heck yes. And I've already decided that I want to do more sort of community playing streams. You know, up until this point, Elden Ring has sort of just been my goal for the past year and a half. Ever since I saw it, ever since I laid my eyes on it, I wanted it. Name that movie. I set a goal for myself to beat all the Soulsborne games before Elden Ring comes out. Just sort of earn it to be able to play it. And so I rushed through them all. And I didn't really appreciate everything that was in them because I was in a hurry. But also because they're kind of older games and everybody watching pretty much had already played them all before. So everybody was kind of telling me what to do. Like, go this way, do this thing for this neat trick. Doctors hate it. And so I was getting all kinds of advice, which is fine. But, you know, this will be the first one I'll be experiencing on my own for the first time. And so I'm really going to enjoy that. But once I sort of get through it, I really want to do some more like co-op, some community co-op stuff, like take down bosses together. You know, do some PvP stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be really cool. Ethan's here for the shepherd's pie prawn. Brett Williams side view posted. Let's see. Let's see this side boob. Oh my goodness. Looks delish. That does look really good. That looks pretty tasty. Yeah. You guys, if you're not in the Discord, look in the description of the video, click on that invite and join our Discord chat so you can see this beautiful shepherd's pie. I think that's the best advertisement for the Discord chat that there's ever been. You know, if I say, hey, you can talk to me some more, it's not really going to sell it. But if I got pictures of a really yummy looking shepherd's pie, it's going to bring them in. It's going to get butts in the seats. You know what I'm saying? Looking forward to fight by your side. Yes, Che. Maybe this time I'll help you out. Maybe I'll do some damage this time, Che. For those of you that don't know, during my Demon Souls playthrough, I was having a lot of trouble with the Tower Knight, who's kind of the second boss, the second level boss, sort of, if you do it in that order. And he was very difficult. And so I asked for help from the community. And boy, Che delivered. He came in, and I don't even know how he was allowed in to play with me because his level was so high. But he came in, and he whacked at this guy like 3-4 times. and he was dead. I mean, it was just, I saw the boss's health bar just go chong, chong, chong. It was glorious. It was glorious. Thank you again for that, Jay. That was hilarious. It really was, because I was struggling. I was like, we can do this. Chong, chong. Oh. Filling layer, cheese. Okay, I was wondering, it looked kind of like scrambled eggs or something, and I'm like, cheese or scrambled eggs. That's a good addition. I like that. Serapho Storms. No, I stole from Blockbuster. That you're the reason they went out of business. How much did you steal? Did you embezzle? Did you like take a couple tapes, or did you like, you know, drain their account? Basic Blockbuster. Those were the days. Yeah, I remember we rented a Nintendo 64 from Blockbuster. They rented out systems for like $10. I think games were $5 and the system was $10. My parents were nice enough to rent for us for the weekend a Nintendo 64 and like 2 games. And what a time we had. That was back, you know, it's like, it's not your birthday and it's not Christmas. You ain't getting no game system. But here, we'll rent you one. And it was nice. It was nice. Brett Williams, wait, we can team up with people in Elden Ring? How did I not know this? Heck yes you can, Brett. Heck yes you can. Granted, it is a little limited, but it's much more open than in previous Souls games. So in previous Souls games, it's basically been like, if you're in one area, you can't leave the area with a buddy. You can basically just go fight the boss, and then once the boss is dead, all your buddies disappear. And so because this is such an open world game, they can basically hang out with you until you beat a boss. Oh, gravity death right there. This guy was gravity death. This guy. I'm having a hard time. So yeah, I actually played around with that just to see how far you could go. And if you're out in the open world, I mean, you can just run around with a buddy as long as you want. And then once you beat a boss, they disappear and leave your world. But you can just summon them back again to continue through the next area. So you could effectively play through the whole game with somebody if you do the little password sharing. But you also open yourself up to invasions the whole time, which is kind of a pain in the neck. So that's one thing. Seraph, I may have been the reason they had shut down. Bones, ever since I laid my eyes on it, I wanted it. Home Alone. Ding, ding, ding. Ray. I can't hear. There we go. Congratulations. Good call. Ethan, I'm excited joining you for once. My first one on the PS servers. Nice. So that brings up an interesting question too. Are there going to be separate servers? Will there be cross-play with anybody? Are the PlayStation and Xbox and PC people going to be able to play together? Because, you know, if I had the means and the ability, I would get another PS5, be able to play this with Drink Fairy, but I don't, because they made like 20 PS5s ever, and I think my computer could probably limp along and play Elden Ring, but I don't know if they have crossplay. So if anybody can enlighten me there, that would be great. That'd be great. Turbic, that's funny. I used to do loss prevention for Blockbuster. You're in trouble, Sarah. You are in trouble. That's hilarious. I had a buddy that worked at Blockbuster. He was just a grunt, but he worked at KFC before that, so it was definitely an upgrade. My natural enemy. Sleight of hand was my thing. What a stupid kid I was. Sleight of hand. Did you walk in there in front and you're like, oh, hey, I'd like to rent this. Just kidding. And they walk out. Get some of those giant lollipops that they stuck in the poles on your way out. You know what I'm talking about? They'd have like this like paper cardboard pole with like these fat lollipops sticking out of the side of it that were like $1. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Sarah, this game looks cool. It does look cool. It is cool. Mulan, another gravity. Brett, I'm gonna come and find you and team up, Elk Leader. I hope you do. I'll do some dedicated like community streams. So maybe like once a week, I'll just open the doors and say, "Hey, I'll jump into your world. Let's run around and play," and we'll do that. That'd be fun. That'd be really cool. Brett Williams, $5 donation. Send some love out to Elk Leader. What a fun community. Thank you, Brett. I really appreciate that. That's right kind of you, Brett. You paid for this drink that I poured myself. It's probably exactly $5. Nasin43, what's up? Hey, James in chat. How's everyone? We're good. I'm just getting drunk and talking about Elden Ring. So I do that most nights, but now I have an audience. Actually, I'm just talking in the mirror. What? I'm talking to my wife too. Well, after you go to sleep, I usually get drunk and talk to myself in the mirror about Elden Ring. So, I sort of rehearse what I'm going to talk about the next day to myself. Go home, you're drunk. You're drunk. My chat window does this. James God, I'm also looking forward to people pissing and moaning about difficulty. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that too. I'm also looking forward to Goblin Santa Claus right here.
That you're not after my throat.
Goblin Santa Claus goes fishing with Ernest. Ooh, there's an idea. Ernest in Elden Ring. I think that could be a hit. I might get working on that. Ernest P. Worrell. I think it's time Ernest had a comeback. And then Jim Varney would appreciate it. On a horse, yeah. Ethan, I hope they don't have crossplay. It advantages PC players, and the servers will definitely get too crowded. This is true. And plus, people cheat a lot more on PC. So there's that. Seraph, Turbix and Seraphs, natural enemies like brothers and sisters. And Scots and Scots. Oh, Nassim. As far as I know, co-op is just same systems. Well, that is very good to know. Yeah, you go home, James. I am home. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, home? This is exactly how home I am. Ernest goes Elden. Ernest goes to Limgrave. Bones. Hey, James, tell Drink Fairy the beans are really good. Hey, Drink Fairy, the beans are really good. She laughed and said, okay, she's good. It's good that beans are good. You don't want bad beans. Nobody wants bad beans. Hey, Vern, it's Ernest. He never knew when to quit. Actually, I need to do the whole like neck brace thing. He never knew when to quit. People who don't know what I'm talking about are so confused right now. Go watch all of the Ernest movies. Speaking of Blockbuster, if Blockbuster were still around, you could go there right now. I mean, they'd probably be closed, but you could go there in the morning and rent all of the Ernest movies, probably for like 50 cents each, and just have the best day of your life, honestly. Ernest Scared Stupid changed my life in a very good way. How many people are old enough to remember that show? It's pies and snakes. I'm talking about the TV show. Oh, I think I saw it on YouTube. There was this kind of documentary about the history of the character Ernest and how it came to be. And he was like Jim Varney. He played this character on these local TV ads. And in like Tennessee, I think it's like Knoxville or something. And so like he was like a local celebrity in all these TV ads. And then some like Hollywood executive like saw it or something and said, hey, you know, you should write a movie with this character in it. And so it sort of birthed this really strange career for Jim Varney around this jean vest and jean cap wearing sort of redneck guy who's really nice. Oh man. James Gowan, much love, but a steak dinner calls night all. Thanks for popping in, James. I appreciate it. Enjoy that steak. Is James getting a Blockbuster sponsorship? I hope not. I think of all the sponsorships that I would get, it would definitely be a Blockbuster sponsorship. Like, they, if anybody needs my help, an aging millennial. I don't even know if I'm a millennial. That's the thing. If you're born in 1984, are you millennial or are you Gen Z or Gen Y? It's like I'm right kind of on the border there. I feel like people talk about millennials and I'm like, I thought millennials were like kind of young whippersnappers, and I'm definitely not either of those things. So, yeah. Brett Williams, yes, it all happened from advertising after he created the Ernest character through stand-up. That's right, he was a stand-up comedian too. Natsu43, the new co-op system has a feature with a group password. You could set one for the community, have streams centered around co-op night.
What is it?
I love it. That is awesome. So, normally I just set the password as James, because that's easy. So, yeah, we'll do some community streams, like on some night. We'll figure it out. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Or we can just say, who needs help? Who needs to kill a boss? Let's go kill this person's boss. Wait. In the game. Not this person's boss. Let's go into this guy's world in Elden Ring to defeat, I'll say defeat, not kill, to defeat the boss that he's stuck on. We're not going to go like to his town and kill his boss. That's not what I'm saying. Not a cult. It's not a cult. 80s and 90s are millennial. So that includes like people born in 1980? That seems like way too old for me. Which makes no sense, but Che, drink. Yeah. Brett Williams, I need to go finish Doom Eternal on Nightmare. Oh my gosh. Do you just hate yourself? Is that the deal, Brett?
Shall I turn your rune?
That sounds difficult. And I only played a little bit of Doom Eternal. I beat the first one, but I was chatting with one of my friends about Doom Eternal, and he said towards the end of the game, there's one level where it's just like 45 minutes of just intense fighting. And if you die, you got to start over. And I was like, that doesn't sound fun. That sounds really stressful. But this is the guy who was won over by the FromSoft games. It is difficult. I love that. That's the best description of Doom Eternal on Nightmare. It is difficult. That's like something Spock would say. It is difficult. So, Elden Ring, yeah. Just got it playing here in the background. One of the coolest things that I noticed from the network test was when you're in this little kind of knockdown church. If you catch the attention of the tree sentinel, the guy on the big armored horse, he'll come over and swing in his axe, and he'll just like crumble that place to the ground. Like he swings that, it's a halberd, I guess, Jim halberd, and like the pillars will like crumble down. You think you're safe in the church, but you're not. He will come and wreck you, ruin Goblin Santa Claus's day. Now it's 43. Quick, clip that comment for James Alibi for the defense. We must protect the leader. I know some great lawyers. Don't worry about it. Bones, James, how has Elden Ring improved on previous Soulsborne games? Glad you asked that question, Bones. Thank you. I believe that it's improved on Soulsborne games in a litany of ways. First of which is the open world nature of the game. Whereas previously, you were on a very linear path, and if you got stuck on a boss, get good, you're stuck there until you beat him. And then you can progress. But with Elden Ring, if you're stuck on a boss, you can go somewhere else. And Miyazaki's actually stated that you don't even need to beat most of the bosses to beat the game. So if you're stuck on one, you can go do something else. And you can bypass a lot of them, actually. So that's kind of cool. So it's not just beating your head against the wall, hoping for RN Jesus to come save you. But that's just one. Obviously, there's been graphical improvements, although some naysayers on the internet would disagree with that. It does look better. It doesn't look quite as good as Demon Souls Remake, but it's still a fantastic looking game. There's also music, open world music. So that's good. What else? What else? Oh, the Ashes of War. So like special abilities that you can attach to your specific weapon. So if you have a particular weapon type that you like using, like a long sword, like he's got here, he just killed a bald eagle with. So the FDA is going to be coming after him. Not the FDA. Who oversees the protection of bald eagles? Definitely not the FDA. Last I checked, bald eagles aren't food. Not legally. This is where the FDA would get involved. If you tried to sell it as food, it would be the FDA. I'm thinking of Department of Agriculture. No, it's not agriculture. Department of Forestry. I don't know. But anyway, if you have a weapon you like, you can find these skills, these called Ashes of War, throughout the world, and you can attach them to your weapons. They don't attach to all weapons, but most of them will attach to most weapons. And so you get this really cool ability that you can use on that weapon. So for this one, the Bloody Wolf starts out with this Ash of War on his longsword, where he can raise it into the air and summon a bolt of lightning to come and hit the nearest enemy. And things like that. Really cool. Turbic88, the difficulty debate will just go up the more From Software games get better and become more popular. More people playing, the more the desire by the investors to appeal to a large audience. That is true. And I made a video at laying all that stuff out. I'm thoroughly against them making these games easier just to please a larger audience. If I agreed with that, then I would just make Minecraft videos for 10-year-olds have a more successful channel. But, you know, I want to make stuff that I want to make, and I know Miyazaki wants to make stuff that he wants to make. And so, yeah. Bald eagles are a drug. My drug. This is the drug of choice for real Americans. I've never played a Soulsborne game. Is grinding a thing in this type of game? Definitely. It can be. For the first one, there's often glitches and sort of cheeses that you can do to sort of get around a lot of bosses. There was this one glitch in Dark Souls 1 in the forest. It's been so long. It's been like a year since I've been there. But yeah, you could basically like cheese these guys that come chasing after you, and then they jump off a cliff and you get a bunch of XP. But it's possible. It's not necessary. But yeah, you could do that. It's definitely not required. I mean, you can get through the game on skill without grinding. Really, your level doesn't play as much of a role as your ability to play. I think. It certainly matters. But I think somebody who's good at the game... Oh no! Yeah. I think my OBS crashed for a little bit there. Kind of freaked out. But we're back online, so that's good. I snort them. You snort bald eagles. You grind up the talons and just get some bald eagle talon. Yeah! You get on a dirt bike and grow a mullet instantly. Nasa 43. Yeah, you can grind a lot in these games for items or souls. Yep. That is a thing. Bald eagles. Truck. Yeah. I'm sure this game is going to be brutal, and I'm looking forward to it. Heck yes, Brett. Me too. You're back. It's all good. Thank you, Brett. Yeah, I just got some notification on my computer. It was like, OBS is back online. And I'm like, oh, no. Was it off? I wasn't aware. I was just talking. NASA 43. The funniest Dark Souls 1 cheese is for the Capra Demon. You can kill him from outside his boss room by throwing bombs. Oh, you can kill him by throwing poo. That's the one. So it's basically the same strat. You just sit outside the boss room, and if you aim at just the right spot, you throw these dung piles. I think it takes 11 or 12 dung piles you throw over. Once they reach a certain threshold, they get poisoned. And so you throw like 11 dung pies, and he gets poisoned. And his health just slowly goes down until he's dead. It's pretty funny. Department of Conservation. That's what it is here in New Zealand. See, that makes sense. Not the Department of Corrections. Turbic88, I think bald eagles are protected by a few agencies, but I think the main one is U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. That's the one. U.S. Fish and Wildlife. In Oklahoma, we have the Department of Agriculture, and part of the Department of Agriculture is Department of Forestry. It's all kind of lumped into one big organization. So I know that the feds like having their own sort of separate entities, but here in Oklahoma, we like to be efficient. Brett Williams, I come back to comment when I get destroyed in Doom Eternal Nightmares. I was wondering. I thought he was playing Doom Eternal. He's back so soon. Ethan, same here except Bloodborne New Game Plus. How bad is Bloodborne on New Game Plus? So here's difficult. Also, speaking of Bloodborne, has anybody seen that that PC version of Bloodborne? It's the PS1 Bloodborne demake, where they took the first opening area of Bloodborne and turned it into a PlayStation 1 game. It looks pretty funny. I watched a video of Maximilian Dude playing it for a while, and man, he cracks me up. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting looking game. For some reason, I don't know, Bloodborne didn't really click with me. It was probably my least favorite of all the Souls games. That or Dark Souls 2. I'm not sure. The Bloodborne demake is awesome. Yeah, it's pretty funny because it looks like a PS1 game. It reminds me of Nightmare Creatures, if any of y'all remember that PS1 game. Which the Bloodborne really is just like a newer, upgraded version of Nightmare Creatures, and this turns it back into its original form, kind of. But here's a question. Since we're talking about Elden Ring, I'm going to take my headphones off because my ears are getting hot. Why are my ears so hot? Anyway. Here's a question. How would you rank all of the Soulsborne games so far? So talking about Demon Souls, it can be either original or remake. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and I suppose Elden Ring, if you've played it. But I don't think it really counts. It's probably going to be at the top of everybody's list by the end of the year. But I'm curious to know what everybody thinks. If you can put those in sort of like a tier list. Gamer480, technically, Bloodborne could have been better for sure. I mean, it is almost 7 years old, so it's pretty good for when it was released. I mean, when you stack it up next to Dark Souls 2, I mean, it came out a year after Dark Souls 2, and it looks way better, and it runs way better, and it's technically a better game. I didn't really get into the world of it. I didn't care for the sort of Lovecraftian, sort of beast hunter, gothic architecture aesthetic. I just didn't like the look and the setting. It was a fine game, but it was ugly. Not in a graphical sense, but just in a artistic style sense. It just got depressing. Everything was just black and gray with a lot of red blood. And it just kind of wore me down after a while, aesthetically. I never saw this boss. I never made it to this part of the network test. The Burial Tree Watchdog? What the heck is that? This looks like a boss from, like, an old Zelda game. A statue come to life. It reminds me of that temple. I think it was the second temple, or the first temple in the Dark World in A Link to the Past, where you have the little statues that come to life. That's every boss fight, but just to paint you a word picture, and they just like circle around. So it reminds me of that statue comes back. Anyway, I agree, Gamer4. It could have been better. The game in the background looks a lot like Dark Souls 2. It's much better, trust me. Nasen, Sekiro, New Game Plus 2 is ridiculous. Glad it's over. You got the New Game Plus 2? I saw you got that plat. Congrats to Nasen, by the way, for getting the Sekiro Platinum. I was all gung-ho to get the Platinum after I beat the game, and I made it to the Shura ending, fighting Ishin, and it just, I don't know if it's just because I wasn't streaming it, and it was just frustrating, but I'm sure I'll come back to it at some point once sort of the Elden Ring hype has gotten all out of my system. I've beaten it and played it. And once I platted Elden Ring, I might go back and plat Sekiro just because I know it's doable. It's going to take some dedication. Bulan has Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2, or Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2. That's a pretty good list. I like that. Sarah, why are my ears hot? Because you dronk. That's right. It is. Sarah, and that Lovecraftian style is exactly why everyone else loved it. Yeah, I know. And I get why people like it. It's just not my taste. And so that's fine. I much preferred the setting of Sekiro. I would probably go Sekiro would be the best, in my opinion. Sekiro, it's kind of a toss-up between Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 for second place, because Dark Souls 1 kind of has that nostalgia factor because it was the first one that I played, and even though it was only a year and a half ago, there was like 6 months between when I played Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. But it had a really good tone. I feel like the challenge that Dark Souls 1 had were very unique and weren't really present in any of the other ones. Like the fact that you can't fast travel from the beginning of the game. You can't fast travel until you're like 2/3 of the way through the game. And so, oh, you got cursed? Well, you gotta jog yourself halfway across the world to go get some special item to get rid of the curse. Otherwise, you're stuck that way. Really? And it's frustrating, but it presents its own unique challenges. And it sort of, I don't know, the tone of it. But Dark Souls 3 is such a technically better game. It has amazing bosses. It was much better looking. And there was a lot more armor and weapons and customization. So it's kind of a hard toss-up for me between Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. I would have to say they're tied. And then after that, probably Demon Souls. And then probably Bloodborne, and then Dark Souls 2 would be last, honestly. Dark Souls 2 is just weird. Demon Souls is kind of like the middle child because, and I did play the remake, but because it was a very beautiful game. And it was one of the reasons I was so hyped to get a PS5, because that game looked amazing. Even if you're just getting destroyed and frustrated, it's beautiful. Like a supernova. It's like, wow, it's just a star exploded, but it's beautiful, you know? So, hope there weren't any planets in its range that had people on it. That's dark. What? But it was kind of easy. A lot of the bosses were kind of a joke. It's like if you had a fire sword, you can kill half of those bosses lickety-split. So, it had a couple of good bosses, but I don't know. It was kind of right there in the middle. I don't have a whole lot of praise or a whole lot of, criticism for it, one way or the other, compared to the others. Nasen says 1, Demon Souls Remake, 2, Dark Souls 3, and Bloodborne. Okay, all on the same level. 3, Sekiro, and Dark Souls 2. Interesting. Demon Souls was the best. Gamer 480, Bloodborne should be played at 60 frames per second, in my opinion. That's the biggest problem with the PS4 version. Yes, I agree completely, because I beat Dark Souls Remastered on the Xbox One, and then I jumped to Demon Souls on the PS5, which was beautiful, 60 frames per second, lovely, lovely, lovely. And then I had to go play Bloodborne right after that at 30 frames per second, and it was rough. Like, I know 30 frames per second doesn't necessarily look bad, but when you've been in that smooth 60 FPS paradise, you go back to 30, you feel like something's wrong with your brain. You're like, why does this game look so terrible and choppy? And that's coloring my opinion of the game, because I played it right after Demon Souls. I don't know, but yeah, it should. They need to make like a PS5 update for Bloodborne, or just make a Bloodborne 2. I would be totally on board with Bloodborne 2. More of the same. I don't love the style, but I'll play anything FromSoft makes at this point, honestly. Ethan says Sekiro New Game Plus 7 was fun. I don't even want to go that deep. That's crazy. Bones, James Loves Games. It's like Link to the Past boss. Sings the tune to every boss. Yeah. Brett Williams, I'm back. Good to see you, Brett. We missed you. Turbigated, I got to head out later, James. See you, Turbik. Thanks for popping in. And thank you for your support, as always. Ethan says, number 1, Sekiro, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 2. Wow, Ethan, that is on point. I think that is pretty much exactly how I feel. Wow. Ethan, I never actually got cursed in my first playthrough of Dark Souls 1. See, I didn't know what anything did or meant. And so by the time I got to that place with all the little basilisks that breathe their little like smoky breath that curses you, I didn't even notice that that's what it did. Like I was fighting them and then I died and I was like, oh, that stinks. I gotta go all the way back here. And then when I came back, I had this skull on my health bar and my health bar was half as big. And I thought, well, that's not good. So I had to look it up and yeah, I was much disappointed. I would have been much more diligent in avoiding their breath if I knew that's what it did. So yeah. Almost done with Super Gore Nest. That sounds fun. Nonsense43 says, Demon Souls Remake was my first game to complete and platinum on the PS5. That's what pushed me to go back to Bloodborne after 2 years. That makes sense. And I did get the platinum for Demon Souls as well. And it's not too difficult to platinum. I think the biggest challenge with it is just getting all the stupid rings and getting all the spells. Because you have to do like... I think you could probably do it in 2 playthroughs, but realistically 3. I think I got it on my 3rd playthrough. And yeah, that was annoying. Because I got 90% of the trophies on my first playthrough and then I had to go back to beat the game again to get the other ending and then get all the spells. What a pain. But yeah, I'm hoping that Elden Ring, trophy-wise, doesn't have any that require, oh, you have to make a spell from this boss soul, but you only get 1 of this boss soul. And actually, I did see, spoiler alert, so cover your ears if you don't want to hear this part, but somebody once told me on Reddit that, I apologize, there's going to be a place where you can duplicate boss souls. And I don't know what that process involves. I just know that there is supposedly a room or an area where that can be done. So if you need a boss soul for multiple things, let's say like in Dark Souls 3, you could use the boss souls to make either a piece of armor or a weapon. If you already used it to make the weapon, you could theoretically replicate the boss soul. And I don't know if that means you have to fight the boss again, or if you can just pay some money to get another one. I don't know. But supposedly there is a way to get multiple boss souls. So, yeah. You can pull your ears out if you don't want spoilers. So there's that. So that's kind of cool, though. I was really hoping, and I'm still holding out hope, that they're going to have in Elden Ring a feature to be able to replay the bosses. Because I really, really like that about Sekiro. That, to me, was the biggest improvement of their formula to date, because I mean, for one thing, most of the bosses, it just takes like practice, and I think it's really cool to be able to go back and fight them, because you know, when most of the other games, it's like, oh yeah, I beat that boss and it was really fun and I want to show it to somebody, but I don't want to have to play through the whole game to get to this point to show them, because once you beat it, it's done. You got to start a new playthrough. So I'm hoping they'll have something like that in Elden Ring. I haven't heard anything confirmed, but the fact that there is a way, plug your ears, the fact that there is a way to get boss souls duplicated makes me think that you're going to be able to fight them again to get multiples of those boss souls. Hopefully. Ethan, for me, the pace of Sekiro makes it the best. Yes. And I like the simplicity of Sekiro, because while I really love the customization that's available in like Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, as far as like the amount of armor and weapons and ashes of war and weapon arts or whatever you want to call them, I think all that's really cool. But there's something about the simplicity of Sekiro where it's just you don't really level up your character so much. you can sort of unlock new skills, but you don't level up specific stats. You don't have any armor to change out. You don't have any weapons to change out. You have some tools that are sort of optional that can help. And so it was more straightforward. It was just about like, just learn the boss's moves and get better. You have the power within you to beat this boss. And I feel like the other Souls games, they offer more avenues. They have more escape routes to get around a boss. So it's like, oh, well, if I equip this weapon and this armor, or if I level up this stat more, then I can more easily take on the boss. But in Sekiro, it's not really like that. It's like, well, I just better learn to deflect properly and get better at the game. And so I like that straightforward nature of it, where it's just your guy and a sword, basically, with a little extra details, but it's like, this is what you get. Make it work. And it's just that simplicity of like, all right, well, I don't have any other options. And so it's sort of easier in a sense. And you can kind of get overwhelmed with choices playing something like Dark Souls 3, where you just have dozens and dozens of weapon options and spells and things to use. And Sekiro's just like, just hit L1. You get L1, R1, man. That's what you got to do. Ethan, the atmosphere of Dark Souls 1 slightly beats out the polish of Dark Souls 3. Yeah, I might agree with you there, Ethan. Bloodborne needs 60 frames per second, plus had a few too many PvP-like fights. Yes, I agree. I'm not crazy about the NPC invasions in any of these games. Nas, and Elden Ring will definitely make you go to New Game Plus to get platinum. FromSoft is cruel like that. I don't mind that. That's okay. But it's just, I don't know. I prefer they didn't do that. Honestly. Oh man. Bones. More weight. No. Less Smash Mouth. Fewer Smash Mouths. Ethan says, in Dark Souls you improve your character, in Sekiro you improve yourself. Exactly. And that's what I like about it. You get better at the game. You become better. You level up. Actually. And I think that's really cool. I like that about it. Bones, but what happens when you find all the Dragon Balls? Well, it depends. What planet are you on? In most cases, a big old dragon's gonna come out. He can either look like a dragon, or he can look like a roided out bodybuilder, depending on which planet you're on. And you will get 1 or 3 wishes, some of which they can't grant. Don't get me started on sort of the ins and outs of what sorts of wishes the dragons in Dragon Ball can't grant. It doesn't really make no sense. It's so unrealistic, the wishes. The wishes aspect really does it. Really just ruins it for me. Naza 43, I think that's what divides a lot of Souls players with Sekiro. You can't create your own build, so it's just here, your katana, go deflect something to death. Exactly. And I like that. You become the Hokage. Exactly. You guys get it. You guys get it. I love it. Jonathan C, should we start a GoFundMe for a complete season of Threshold Kids? Oh God, no, please. Let's start a GoFundMe for me to get some psychiatric help to scrub that from my memory. Threshold Kids was just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Ethan Witherford, time for work now later. Thanks for popping in, Ethan. Have fun at work. Oh man, Threshold Kids. That's sick mind came up with that, man. I tell you what. And whoever wrote that game, Edith Finch, was that the name of the game? I played it a couple months ago. I did it at the Thanksgiving stream. That game was depressing. That game was straight up depressing. It's like, oh, let's go through the memories of all the dead family members. Oh yeah, half of them are children. Cool. This is great. Let's see how they all died. That game will make you drink. But anyway, well, I hope this was as enlightening for you as it was fun for me. And that's not a joke. It was fun for me. I enjoyed it a great deal. So yeah, it's not simple to have fun at work. Depends on where you work. I'm technically working right now. And so anything that involves Elden Ring and Scotch is, that's a good day at work. I made $5 today, y'all. Thanks again to Brett for that donation. Bones, I've had nightmares about Threshold, kids. Yeah. Brett, hey, here I am again. I feel like you've never left, Brett. What's the deal? Bones, oh my god, don't start about Edith Finch and the dead, pre-dead kids. Yeah, that game was... Lost some sleep over that one. Bathtub death. Baby's dying in a bathtub. Pass. Pass on that. I give that game 2 bathtub rings out of 10. Nassim43. Guess Super Gore Nest is a bit rough on Nightmare. Super Gore Nest sounds like a nightmare on anything. I mean, I don't know what that means. How's the Doom torture going? He's back. I mean, I don't know what a Super Gore Nest is, but if there's a crow in there asking for sparkly things, then we got something to talk about. Good Doom torture. Great torture. Best torture. So is anybody going to be, that sounded weird coming out of my mouth. Is anybody going to be putting a special backstory on their Elden Ring character? Are you going to pick up a specific class? Man, this Scotch is getting to me. Are you going to pick a specific class to sort of role play in any way? Like a Conan the Barbarian hero kind of thing? Or I was thinking it'd be fun to do a Gandalf type of character. You know, just have like a long sword in one hand and a staff in the other. Big pointy hat. And just not let anybody pass. Big beard. I'm still on the fence as to whether I want to do that. It sounds really fun. And I think my computer is like having a heart attack right now. I'm not really sure what's going on. It was struggling. It was struggling for a minute. Maybe it's okay. All right. Things got a little choppy. It was all good. Bulon. Vagabond. Most HP is my go-to class. Nice. I like that philosophy. I can appreciate that very much. Brett Williams. I'm not even sure where I'll start. Probably just go with what feels right the first time around. I understand that as well. Honestly, like all of the classes seem like really good, viable options. Most of them. But I'm not looking to do a big melee build. Bones. Mine is an ex-circus worker who is looking for his circus that he lost. You don't look for the circus finds you. Jack Moore, what's up? I assume you've been on the road. Hey James, sorry I missed most of the stream, but I'm working late tonight. I assumed as much, but that's okay. I'm just sitting here drinking scotch, talking about Elden Ring and Dr. Pepper for a lot of time. It's good to see you. I'm glad you popped in to say hey. So yeah, we're pretty much almost done here. Anybody have anything else they want to say? Speak now or forever hold your peas. Wow, that's disturbing. I never made it to this area on the beach with the giant beaked squid monsters. That's horrifying. I was in Southern California several years ago, and my buddy and his sister, and we found a giant squid dead on the beach, and she just had to take the beak. She had to like rip this beak with a stick out of this dead squid and bring it back to Oklahoma with us. And I tell you what, that thing was in the back of my truck from LA to Oklahoma City. And by the time we got back, rarely have I don't know that I've smelled something worse, honestly. One of the worst things I've ever smelled in my life. And we had it in like multiple Ziploc bags. I mean, it was in like 3-4 layers of Ziploc bags. And it was still in the back of a truck full of breeze across the country. Horrifying. So when I see a big squid beak coming at me, that's what I think of. Just to give you an idea what's going on up here. Nasen, my character is going to be a disgruntled retail worker, sword in hand, ready to take on those who would ask him which bottle of vodka is cheaper. The one with the lower number, obviously. Seraph, I like peas. I like peas too. I put peas in my tuna casserole because it makes it pop and they taste good. And they're good for you. Brett Williams, Bredimus Maximus Killimus is ready to go regardless. You're going to get one of these like Zuckerberg Caesar haircuts. I hope that's an option. Honestly, I feel like the Romans are criminally underrepresented in Souls games. I think we need to have some kind of Roman legionnaire kind of armor. That would be really cool. Vartazion 360 in Elden Ring, when you die, do you lose anything? You lose the runes that you had. So the runes act like your souls or your XP/money. And so when you die, they stay in a little pile at the place where you died. And if you make it back there to pick them up before you die again, you get to keep them. But if you die on the way, they disappear forever. So that's how that works. Good question. The Ed James. Oh no, it's the Hiss. Get out of here. I'm the director of Federal Bureau of Control. Get out of here, the Ed. Anyway, I think this is enough of this farce of a stream. Thanks once more to Jack Moore, Turbig88, and Jonathan C. You guys are the best. And I appreciate your support a great deal. Deadly Shadows. Heyo, just woke up 5 a.m. here, and I'm glad I was able to come and say hi. I hope you're doing well. I'm so hyped for Elden Ring, man. I'm so hyped too, Deadly Shadows. Watch the whole stream and watch our furious debate as to whether RC Cola, Coke, or Pepsi is the superior drink. I know that's what you were expecting. The Ed, it's good to be back. Life has been busy. I understand. I am also very busy. But most of my time is taken up with things like this, so it's not so bad. Vartazian 360. So can you save those runes at sites of grace? If you level up, you spend your runes. So that, in a sense, gets rid of them. There were ways in other Souls games to purchase sort of like, I know in Sekiro you could buy like bags of gold. So if you had money on you, when you die, you would lose a certain amount of money. And so you could buy bags of gold that didn't disappear on your death. But you would lose like 10-20% of the value. And so it's kind of like an insurance thing. I don't know if there's going to be something like that in Elden Ring. I suspect there probably will be. Because there are usually souls around that you can consume that stay in your inventory, that don't disappear. But I'm not sure if you can trade in runes for something more permanent that doesn't disappear. There probably will be. I'll say that. There probably will be, right? Can you put your souls in a bank like Dragon Quest XI? I don't think so. Deadly Shadow, sure will. Thank you. Coca-Cola Zero for the win. Coke Zero is actually eerily similar to Coke, regular Coke. I can't tell the difference, really. Brett Williams, not a farce. It was fun. I'm getting back to Doom now. All right, have fun with Doom. Jonathan C., thanks for the stream, James. Thank you for popping in, Jonathan. And have a great night. I'll see y'all later. And, yeah. Oh, before I go, my drunk self needs to explain a few things. Come back Thursday. I'm not going to be streaming at 8 o'clock on Thursday, okay? Warning, warning. I won't be here at 8 o'clock. I will be here at 11 o'clock to play Horizon Forbidden West. Because the game goes live on PS5, at least where I am, on my little system, it shows it going live at 11 p.m. on the, what was it? 17th. Thursday the 17th, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Join me for the stream. So we're going to be 3 hours later than usual. I will send a reminder to the Discord. If you've not joined the Discord, click that link for the invite. And join our Discord to see awesome pictures of some shepherd's pie. And I will see you next time right here on Bye-bye. Not 43 when you die in Elden Ring. The runes stay where you die, but there's a marker on the map to show you where they are. Yes, there is a marker, and that's a really neat feature. Vartazian, so if you die 2 times in a row, then you lost all your runes, also thank you. Yes, if you die, they form a pile, and if you die again, the pile disappears. Thank you all so much for popping in, and I'll see you later.